GNT show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. Live long and prosper.
Are friends with benefits?
Speaking of having a good time, Terry.
Dayton broke the G&T show. This is now the David Mack
Appreciation Hour. You assholes.
What is it about this guy that people love him so much?
With his purple velvet cape and his crown. I thought it was a little much when he had us carry him in the studio on a throne.
I am awesome! Look what I have done! Look what I have brought upon the world!
There is an urge to go nya 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 nya.
I heard rumors that you might be working on something else, but we won't prod much. I'm gonna say if
I'm gonna pry a little.
Dare you! How dare you ask me to change it? Do you not understand the majesty of my genius? And the guy sitting next to me looked at me like he was, like I'd cramped in his hat.
Yeah, it's the professionalism that sells the show. That's right.
Hey everybody, it's Terry again, another supplemental log for the G&T show, and we are just thrilled to have you. Now, Kate, you're going to have to tell me your last name.
Bankson.
Yeah. We have with us, no, you go by Catherine or Kate?
I usually go by Kate. Professionally, it's Catherine. That's what they put on my paychecks.
All right, it's Kate Bankson from Star Trek Online. And you're a new kid on the block, at least to the Star Trek Online team.
Yeah, I've been with the company 4 years this past November, and also in November they moved me down from Champions onto the Star Trek team, and I was so excited to join them. I love Champions, and I love comic books, but after a few years, you're kind of like, I want to do something a little bit different. So I was really excited to join the Trek team. They're great people.
That's awesome. Now, what exactly is your position title for a lot of the Stowe geeks out there?
I'm a staff content designer, so that means I'm making all the missions that you guys are playing.
Yeah. No kidding. So you have busted your tushy on Legacy of Romulus.
Oh yeah. Lots of overtime and making sure it's perfect for you guys, or as close to perfect as we can possibly get.
Okay. Now you've played and you've actually created some of the more important missions in Legacy of Romulus. You want to talk to us a little bit about some of the fun that you got to have, what missions you got to work on, who you got to work with, and what hurdles you had to jump?
Sure. Well, it was really a team effort in this one, but there were a couple missions that I was given, first crack at, and really was the one who was able to develop it and write the pitches for it and put everything in place, and then we all kind of touched it and polished it and looked at it and gave everybody feedback. But it was really exciting. I got down there, I moved my desk, I was so excited, and they were like, awesome, all right, meeting, you get to do Kittimer. I'm like, oh my, because I knew that we were doing Romulans, and I knew that we wanted to keep it a red versus blue game, and I'm like, oh, it's Kittimer. This has to be the mission where you get to pick which faction you're. Oh, I'm so excited. So, my artist on that one is Peter, and he did an amazing job, and we showed up to our white box. We do iterative tests on things, and we had the embassy place was there, and we had NPCs running around, and all the placeholder, go here and talk to him and do this, and they're like, wow, and we're like, yeah, we got really excited because we got to do Trek. So Kittimer, I love how that ended up. It's a really fantastic moment for yourself as a Romulan character. Some of the other ones that I did, the beginning of the Romulan infiltration arc, and especially Sleepers, which is the one with the Borg cube.
Okay.
And so that was a lot of fun to do. That's a Flashlight episode.
Our ever favorite Flashlight episodes.
Yes. That was super fun to do. I really enjoyed doing that, and worked on some of the Alachi missions later in that arc. So
which I have not yet played, according to Al Rivera. So I can't speak to those, but I'm a really big fan of the Kittimer mission, as you can imagine.
Good, yeah.
So the Kittimer mission is one of the most pivotal missions in the game, because not only is a Romulan or a Reman, it's actually the point in time where you actually, as a player, begin to understand why the Klingons would actually even speak to the Romulan people. What was your favorite part about working specifically on that area? Did you get to work on the character? Did you get to tell us a little bit about what it was that you got to develop for a character?
Gosh, we really liked. We wanted to make this place seem like, all right, it's this really pivotal place in just all of Star Trek history.
Right.
And so we wanted to kind of establish the history of it. So, part of that went to the environment work, and I worked very closely with my artist to try and convey that, where you are now is like, the Klingons are here, and they have taken it. And now you're here as a Romulan, and you're kind of on shifty ground. And so we've got Empress Sela, which was super exciting because we knew that we were in talks with Denise. And so, and then you have the Federation, who they're on shifty ground with the Klingons because of the ongoing conflicts. And they're in this place where there's a lot of history with, between all the different factions involved. And, as a Romulan, it's like, there's Khitomer happened, and that was severe and significant. And so I really wanted to get into kind of the backstory and kind of have that drama be like under and tension kind of be underlying everything that's going on, because this is a really, really intense summit, because you have two factions that hate one another, and then you have the remains of the Romulan people trying to, stake their claim in the universe, and it's just getting that tension across is one of the things we really wanted to convey.
It felt like something out of a novel.
Oh, good.
It really did. We had, it was one of those. I actually wrote, I think, on Massively. It was like the first time I actually had real, true emotion drawn out of me, and I was actually quite upset at the end. I was crying. I was like, I was sad.
I loved how it was. Spoiler, the moment when the sacrifice, I mean, that for me it was like, dude, I will go to hell for you now.
Yeah, that was we kind of had to build this up, like, why in the world would the Klingon Empire give a damn about these Romulans? Because they have such a history with one another, and it's not been the best. And, we had to go back and think, all right, well, how can we spin this out? And we're like, well, what do Klingons value? And it's honor and duty and sacrifice and, being Klingon. And so, how can we convey this as a Romulan in a way that, kind of understands and what event could happen? And we're like, well, we have this, tension with the Tal Shiar, and, if they come in and try and, wreck things at the end, if you have, we have this mentor character, if he sacrifices himself, that kind of proves to both the Klingons and to the Federation, we're really serious about not being who we were. We are Romulans, but we are going ahead, and we are forging our new identity. And that really is what is the moment that sells it, I think, for everybody, because it's definitely something that would speak to the Federation, and it's something that speaks to the Klingons, and it's kind of this universal moment of, no, we're awesome. And so that was a really intense thing.
It was amazing. It really
the
was.
scope of that hall and everything that's in it is just amazing.
Right. Well, I have a kind of a quick question, which is bound to come up.
Sure.
And welcome to the Star Trek world. And that is, you're about to have your cred questioned. So, as a person who comes over from Champions Online, inevitably the Star Trek Online players are going to say, oh yeah, and what kind of a Trekkie are you? So you can explain to people, what was it that you first fell in love with Star Trek?
All right, when I was a wee little kid, it was Star Trek, the original series, was on daytime, and I loved it because it was this fantastic adventure. And I would love when it was on TV because I would watch Kirk and Spock, and they'd go on an adventure, and I loved Uhura. She was the girl, so I loved Uhura. Oh yeah, and I grew up, and it kind of wasn't on when I was watching, and I rediscovered TNG, I think, on 3rd or 4th season. I was like, oh my gosh, this
has been on, and I never knew.
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly. I was like, oh wow, and I really liked the kind of, I liked Roddenberry's vision. I liked that it was this hopeful future with equality and different people of races and creeds and species, kind of trying to be better, and that really spoke to me, and I really enjoyed that. And I'm kind of now, Sci-Fi Switzerland, I enjoy all of the shows, and for all very, very different reasons, but Star Trek, the thing that really speaks to me is this kind of message of, unity and IDIC.
IDIC, baby.
Yeah.
And following up on those questions, favorite species. Because Star Trek Switzerland or not, everybody's got a favorite species.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
I think we stumped her, folks.
But there's something I like about so many of them. I kind of gotta give it to the Klingons.
A woman after my own heart.
They're fantastic. They kind of got this, they're great. Second runner-up, I possibly go with the Bajorans because it's really interesting.
She can leave.
No, I just think that because of they have such a strong faith, and that's really interesting, and it's a really it was a new note in the canon of the series and stuff, and I appreciated that.
Do we know someone who says Bajorans are a two-dimensional, one-dimensional race that are not?
They could possibly, everything can be expanded more.
I was like, really?
Yeah. And then the Vulcans. Watching Enterprise, I really enjoyed the Vulcan storyline, and I was sad that Enterprise ended because I wanted to hear more about the Andorians, and we only got a tidbit of that.
We never really saw the Tellarites.
Exactly.
Yeah,
although those Tellarites have been
few moments, like 2 or 3 episodes maybe.
Mm-hmm. So you guys can pick up on that. The Tellarites have been greatly underserved.
I know Christine and I would be happy to do so. We like the Tellarites. We think they're fantastic. Just their argumentative style of dialogue is just great.
My ship's counselor is a Tellarite.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, and then of course the stereotypical question is, do you have a favorite ship?
Voyager. Voyager was my show.
I'm loving this. You guys have no idea. The thing is as you can well imagine, Mr. Nick is just rolling his eyes, and I can't believe it.
You mean the ship itself?
Well,
The Intrepid?
The Intrepid class?
No, the show. The ship, I like.
You mean the ship itself?
I like the ship itself too. It looked great. It had this kind of sleek design. It was a beautiful ship.
It's no Sovereign class.
In the game, I love my bug ship. I love my Jem'Hadar attack ship. Oh, I'm a tactical player. Yeah, pull-around cannons everywhere. Yeah, turn on a dime.
A girl after my own heart. Because I think that's all I play. I think I have 14 characters, and 12 of them are attack. Well, again, Kate, thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna, that's it. It's all over. You're good.
Okay.
She was there.
Magazine or?
Oh shit! Oh my God, I forgot. No, we need to talk about this. You guys, I'm clueless, and the beauty is we have 10 minutes, so this is good. So Miss Kate was also the author of the newest story that came out in the most recent Star Trek magazine, which I believe is in the United States, I think it's 44.
I think so.
And in the UK, I'm sorry, you guys. As always, I'm clueless. I have no idea what.
It's like number 516.
It's like some 3-digit number that Sorry, I'm not there. But either way, you got to write a great story about Kiryoshi O'Brien. Yes. So tell me what inspired that story. And our next door neighbors turned up the music, so you might have to talk a little louder. But tell me about what was it that inspired you and got you to talk about Kiri. Thank you.
He wanted, part of the theme of the issue was growing up Trek. And so it was actually requested by the editor, we would love a Kiryoshi O'Brien story. And that was great for me because I was actually thinking that would be one of the interesting stories I could tell, because Christine said that, they would love to have more fiction from Star Trek Online and from, devs and writers on the project. And so I was like, me, please, I want to do this. This would be fun. I thought it would be really, really fun and entertaining to kind of introduce him as a character. He's in this unique position of not really having served on too many like active ships, and so and he's coming from this his dad is now the head of Starfleet engineering and has a huge history with the Enterprise, and so I thought it'd be really interesting to kind of put him in some difficult situations and try to have to step up to the plate and really figure things out and explore him as a character. And I thought that people would enjoy it, and fortunately everybody else thought it was a great idea and wrote it up and did my own edits, gave it to Christine, got edits from her. And
now, is it the first prose story you've written?
Yes, it is. It is my first pro credits. I've worked in the video game industry, but it's very different from actually publishing a thing in a magazine or publishing a novel or scripts or anything like that. So it's really super, super exciting for me.
I was going to say, so what happened when you've got your hands on the first physical copy of the magazine?
So I went to Barnes & Noble and I picked up 2 copies because I was going to send one to my parents. And I was so excited. I did a little dance in the aisle and read through the thing and took a cell phone picture of my name on listed in the story as the author, and bought it and walked out to my car and realized, wait, my parents have Barnes & Noble close to them. I didn't need to buy 2. Oh well. But I got super excited, did a little dance. It was great.
Put one into a bag and then you can keep reading one and then you have the other one protected. Yeah. That's what you do with the second bag. Yeah, we are just so thrilled to be able to talk to you now. What was it that you found as far as challenges were concerned in writing your first story and seeing that and knowing that you're going to be published? I mean, I'm assuming you all of a sudden were told that you had a word limit and what that word limit was. What were some of the challenges you found a little difficult to overcome when you were like, oh my gosh, how do you deal with that?
Well, they gave me the word limit up front, and so I knew what I was working with, and it was 2,500 or 5K over 2 issues, and so I really wanted to keep it to one issue, and I'll get back to that in a moment, because it was a really kind of simple character story, and spreading it over 2 didn't seem like what we wanted to do, and so I wrote it, and I just wrote the full thing, and then I realized, wow, I'm like 3K over, and then I edited it and picked the best parts. Really, there was a Tellarite lieutenant, and he's supposed to be this fairly worldly person who's been and experienced a lot of different races and understand how to get along with them, and very, very friendly. So he had a little exchange where he and this Tellarite lieutenant kind of insult one another, and there's another ensign who isn't as familiar. He's fresh out of the academy. He's kind of like taken aback by this, but that had to get cut. Here and there, and continued cutting it down, and Christine was able to edit out a lot. She's a fantastic editor, and we got it down, and they were very pleased with it. And then they came back and were like, well, we'd really, really like to have an action piece, and so that is coming up in the next issue of Star Trek. Yeah, an action piece
with
Kiriyoshi, starring him. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Well, let me ask you maybe the most bizarre question you're ever going to be asked in an interview.
All right.
Your toenails, did you hand paint the little Delta shield on there?
I did.
I took the picture of it up on the website. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm standing here and I looked down and I saw her toenails. That is awesome.
You realize that's going on the website.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Well, I think
she's an artist.
She is an artist in more ways than one. Well, congratulations on the story. Can you tell everybody the title of the story? And I know I don't have the problem is we didn't get the copy of the magazine yet. So this is what happens when we're behind the 8 ball. But the magazines that they were handing out this year were last episodes, not this one, so we didn't get them yet. And I get mine on my iPad, so. But the name of the story is?
The story is called Chief, and it's Kiriyoshi O'Brien's story, and he's part of the Enterprise F crew, and please pick it up and read it, and I hope you enjoy it.
We definitely will. Congratulations again, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And you guys, again, never question a girl's cred when it comes to being a Star Trek fan.
Come to a convention and question their cred, see how long they last. You get smacked with a bat lift.
Again, congratulations, my dear. Excellent. Awesome. Well done.
Music for the G&T show is provided by Warp 11, Grethor, 5 Year Mission, and Andrew Allen's Smooth Federation.
G&T Show is a Busy Little Beaver production.